Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today's video we continue the collab with Kuro of What If the Good Saiyans Won the Civil War, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you missed the last part, go check out on his channel so you will not be confused. The link will be in the description. Before we get started, I hope you subscribe to my channel and his channel, and hit that bell icon to be informed of any future what ifs. If we hit the like goal of 50 likes, Kuro will make the next part, which will actually be the finale. And if you have any what if suggestions for me, write down in the comments, and if you see enough interest, I'll do it. Now, let's continue this story. Miras has arrived at Earth and has come for the request of Goku and Vegeta to take down two criminals that have escaped the galactic prison. One is the plant eater known as Moro, and the other is a Saiyan who somehow managed to survive even after the Civil War that happened thousands of years ago. And from what they know, his name is Cumber. Goku and Vegeta, who are on their way to Planet Namek and hearing the information, are surprised to hear that there's still an evil Saiyan out there. He survived for this long? It has been almost thousands of years. How is he still alive? Miras himself doesn't know. May I manage to figure out that he survived for this long is maybe because of his weird energy source. It's not normal ki. The Saiyans wonder did he has some kind of divine energy? But Miras tells them that that energy is very corrupt. It's hard to explain. It's almost suffocating. Due to Goku never getting instant transmission, they have to fly with the ship to Planet Namek, so it's gonna take them a bit longer to reach the planet. And once they do arrive, Moro and Cumber have already collected 6 Dragon Balls, reaching almost the final one. But when they see the Galactic Patrol ship arriving at the planet, Moro says to the old Saiyan that he should try to hold these guys off, since he knows that where the last Dragon Ball is, and he promises that he will wish Cumber's youth back. Cumber decides to believe Moro and goes to the ship as Cranberry and Moro continue their search for the final Dragon Ball. Goku and Vegeta land on the planet. Miras and Jaco evacuate whatever Namekians are left. Goku and Vegeta can sense a powerful presence approaching them. It does feel like a Saiyan, but it's a very weird energy. It's itself choking them out. Cumber soon arrives, and when he looks down, he's shocked to see more Saiyans. Yes, it's no mistaking there. They are probably the descendants of the good Saiyans. Goku and Vegeta stare down at the old Saiyan, and they're still surprised that he has survived for this long. Goku introduces himself and asks Cumber what he's doing here, and Cumber says that in a very weak voice that he has heard from the prison that there are wish-granting orbs in this planet, and if that's true, he has come to regain his power. Goku also asks him how he survived, as it's been almost thousands of years since that war, and why is he teaming up with another criminal like Moro? Cumber decides to humble the descendants of the good Saiyans and explains his story. He was also one of the evil Saiyans who fought in the Civil War. He fought Yamoshi many times and went against him actually on many occasions, and kinda saw Yamoshi as a rival, but not in a good way, but as a biggest enemy. But when Yamoshi finally unlocked Super Saiyan, he was never able to fight him on par. He was always beaten up pretty badly, and when Yamoshi unlocked Super Saiyan God, he was basically untouchable, and he was shocked by the power, asking Yamoshi how did he get this strong. Yamoshi said with help of 5 other Saiyans, he was only managed to become this strong, as he beats down Cumber easily, but decides not to kill him. After the war, the good Saiyans left the planet with only 1 spaceship remaining, but the evil Saiyans still don't know what to do with it. Cumber, who was kind of the leader of the evil Saiyans, explained how Yamoshi got his red hair transformation and suggested maybe they should try it. If they get that power that Yamoshi possessed, there's no way he would lose, and they can conquer the universe like they want. Cumber, being the strongest evil Saiyan, the evil Saiyans used the ritual on him, but it didn't turn his hair red, but his energy did increase. His energy turned darker and more corrupted, and Cumber himself lost all control and began to run wild and going on a rampage around killing the entire planet, killing every Saiyan, evil Saiyan, whatever, any living organism that on sight. And when he kills the last of his brothers, he finally was managed to control himself and comes back to normal. But he is shocked for what he has done. But he actually doesn't care about all that. He only cares about his power. It felt amazing. Such darkness. It grants him so much strength. He's definitely a match now against Yamoshi, and he uses the last remaining space pod and leaves the planet. Cumber begins his search for the good Saiyans, and he knows the perfect way to lure them out. He began rampaging on other planets, killing most of the population, and any warrior who tried to fight him were easily beaten by his new power, and he got more and more used to it, eventually being able to use it in his full capacity while in full control, and that made him even stronger. Eventually, the three strongest Saiyans, Yamoshi, Shal, and Giblet, found out about Cumber and finally managed to track him down. Cumber was happy to see them again, especially Yamoshi. He says that he has come to settle the score, and with his new power, the evil Saiyans will finally prevail and start their journey to conquering the universe. Yamoshi is having none of it, as he transformed into a Super Saiyan God, and the two titans clash. Yamoshi is surprised by the Cumber's increase in power, asking how did he get this strong this quickly. He explained that he did the ritual just like Yamoshi, but it seems like it got the opposite effect of getting vicious and dark energy. The two continue clashing, shaking almost the entire Universe 7 itself. But Beerus was asleep and barely felt it. But Cumber has still not gained full control over his dark energy, and was fighting like a feral animal, sometimes losing himself. He was getting way too excited of the thought of killing Yamoshi, and when Shal and jumped in, they began beating him pretty easily. But Yamoshi, still believing in his good Saiyan ideology, decides not to kill Cumber. So he calls the Galactic Patrol, who arrest him, but they realize that there is no way it will be enough to contain him, a normal prison cell. So with the help of the Galactic Patrol and Tuffle researchers, they were able to make a suppression device, and that every time he tried to use more than 20% of his power, he'll get shocked, kinda like Broly did in the Broly movie. He was put into a maximum security prison, and he has stayed there for a long time. He has tried a couple of times to escape, but his hands were restrained, and every time he tried to use his dark energy and tried to break them out, the electric shocker shocks him, which forces him out to power down. Cumber thinks that there is no way of escaping. Maybe there isn't any way. He curses Yamoshi. He has to admit that this is maybe a fate worse than death. Staying in a prison cell with nothing to do, this is just a nightmare. After a couple of months, he began to hear a voice in his head, saying that it really does suck. Cumber thinks that he is losing his mind, but the voice tells him that he is definitely sane, and he's another prisoner that was also sent to maximum security. His name is Moro, the Planet Eater. The two begin conversing for a bit, and realizing that their goals realign, they both want to become the strongest and conquer the universe. Moro explains his plan. He can feel a bit of his magic returning, but it's a very slow process, so he doesn't even know if Cumber will survive until then. Cumber feels confident. Even though he can't utilize his dark ki for battle, even after staying 6 years in prison, he still feels fresh. That must be the side effects of his weird power. He maybe did not do any physical training in jail, but after years in prison, learned how to train his mind and to keep him sane and become stronger. His energy increased day by day, but he never had a chance to unleash it. But of course, some elite patrolmen have been monitoring Cumber to make sure to stop him if he ever goes on a rampage, but once his hair turned grey, the patrolman did monitor him too seriously. After about 100 years, about thousands even, he definitely knows Yamoshi is dead by this point, but he still doesn't care. He knows that the good Saiyans are still out there somewhere, and he will show them that the evil Saiyans have not perished. And once Moro has finally getting a little bit of his magic back, he decides to use it, and escapes prison with Cumber, but he also grabs Cranberry, who has known about some wish-granting balls, which gives them the perfect opportunity. He explains them about New Namek, and how King Cole tried to go there, but was defeated by some Saiyans. That just confirmed for Cumber that there's still good Saiyans out there, and the two new recently escaped prisoners decide that their first plan of action is to get those wishes, and now he's here. Soon, the dragon will be summoned. Moro will wish both of their prime to return, and he'll become unstoppable. With his rival dead, his goal is to rule the universe and become the strongest in the entire multiverse. Vegeta scoffs. He says just because they're the new generation, that doesn't mean they were slacking off. Vegeta turns into a Super Saiyan, which briefly stuns Cumber, but he smirks, telling Vegeta to bring it. Vegeta rushes in and punches Cumber right in the stomach. Of course, Cumber felt that, but his smirk never disappears. Dark energy surrounds Cumber, and then it starts consuming Vegeta. he begins feeling weird. He feels losing control over himself. Violence and darkness trying to consume him. What is happening, he wonders. Cumber laughs and said it was foolish to attack him head on. Even though he's probably pure-hearted, there's no way a person exists with no darkness, especially in the Super Saiyan form, which utilizes your rage, just makes it more energy, more sadistic for him. Vegeta begins feeling overwhelmed by the dark energy, but after hearing what Cumber said, he decides not to power up, but to calm down. A red fire overwhelms the dark energy as the darkness disperses, revealing Vegeta in his Super Saiyan God form. Cumber is flabbergasted. Wait, those eyes, the red hair, it's no mistaking it. It's the Super Saiyan God transformation, just like Yamoshi used. He began fighting Vegeta, but it's not even a contest. His dark energy is now useless with the utilization of divine energy, and with Cumber not being able to use his hands, he's basically on the losing side. Vegeta begins beating down on the old Saiyan, saying if that's really all he's got. Cumber knows that he just needs to hold on for a bit longer. He decides to use his available full power and not to get shocked, and begins to attack him with both of his legs, but Vegeta easily dodges them. Suddenly, they see the sky turning dark, and they realize Cumber hasn't come here to fight them. He was just buying time. Vegeta tells Goku to try to stop Moro from granting any wishes. He'll finish up Cumber. Goku decides to listen and begins flying straight towards Moro's energy. Cranberry says that he'll finally manage to get the Dragon Balls, and he'll use the first wish, but before he can say anything, Moro kills him, saying that after he got the Dragon Balls, he had no use to him anymore. Moro grabs the translation device and begins explaining his wishes. He can sense that Goku's coming to him, and it's better for him to make the first wish. He asks the dragon to bring his magic back, which Porunga does, and Moro can feel the power increase himself, and feeling his magic return. Finally, after thousands of years, his magic has returned, and with the Grand Supreme Kai dead, there will be no one in the universe to stop him. Then, he decides to use his second wish to break out every galactic prisoner from the prison. And his third wish, he can't really think about it. He thinks about Cumber. He could betray him, but hey, if he'll be in a sticky situation, he could use Cumber as a battery, and he could be also an excellent snack. And their goals do realign, so he could be a good comrade. So for his final wish, he tells the dragon to restore Cumber back to his youth. Back to Vegeta's fight, they continue fighting, but Vegeta has the clear upper hand. He tells Cumber that he's not as merciful as Yamoshi, and that the reign of the evil Saiyans will end here, and after his death, the good Saiyans will officially have won the Civil War. Vegeta lands a gut punch on Cumber, who spits out blood. As he flew to a mountain, Vegeta decides to finish this and fires a God Heat Flash, but then he senses a huge power increase in Cumber. His dark energy begins expanding more as the God Heat Flash disappears, not even reaching Cumber, his white hair slowly turning to black as Cumber begins laughing. Finally, his power has returned. Cumber screams as he breaks through his restraint jacket. Finally, after thousands of years, he was able to move his arm again. He begins flexing and feeling his overwhelming power. Vegeta looks in horror. What is this power? Just being near him almost making him suffocate. He still decides to put on a grin, and since even though he's now in his prime, there's no way he could win, as he turns Super Saiyan Blue and rushes Cumber, punching him right in the face. But Cumber does not even feel fazed. Cumber smirks. He never disappears. It seems like that there was an evolution beyond Super Saiyan God, but it does not matter anymore. With his full power returned, he is now the strongest in the universe. He punches Vegeta right in the face, which sends him flying. Back to Goku, he has just arrived to Moro's location, and he first sees the old Go. Well, he doesn't look old anymore. He seems more muscular, younger. Goku doesn't say anything. He instantly transforms into Super Saiyan Blue and begins fighting the magician, but Moro is easily able to overpower him and begins draining more and more of his energy, when eventually Goku can't even transform into a Super Saiyan. He tries to go Ultra Instinct, but he has no energy reserves for that. Moro is ready to finish off the Saiyan, but Mir kicks the Plant Eater away. Mir realizes the worst case scenario has happened and they need to retreat. Back to Vegeta's fight, Now, unlike Vegeta, who had the clear upper hand, Cumber begins to beat down Vegeta with no mercy. Vegeta tries to utilize more of his power, but he finds out that he's actually losing power. Moro has been secretly absorbing the energy of the entire planet. So everyone is beginning to lose strength, well, besides Cumber. So Cumber has the clear upper hand, but thankfully Jacko was able to surprise attack him with a stun gun, which temporarily stunts Cumber with the electric shock. Jacko quickly grabs Vegeta and they all return back to the ship. They feel bad for leaving Namek and some of the Namekians behind, but they have no other choice as the Galactic Patrol and the two Saiyans leave the planet. Cumber and Moro reunite with each other and both laugh. Finally, after such a long time, their wishes have come true and they hear a spaceship coming towards them. It was the Galactic prisoners ready to pick the two up. The two make an evil smile. They can finally start their plans for world domination and conquering the universe and become the world's strongest. Back to our heroes. After recovering, Vegeta still decides to go to Yardra, hearing rumors about strange techniques, and it should be good help against Moro and Cumber, while Goku decides to stay with Mirrors to go get better control over his Ultra Instinct. Jago decides to go to Earth and to inform everyone about the threat of Moro and Cumber. Speaking of Earth, the Pasta gang arrived at the planet, thinking to steal some of their treasure, but Piccolo sensed their arrival and beat them pretty easily. Soon Jaco arrives, and he's surprised that some of the goons have managed to outspeed him, but there was no time for that, and when he arrested them, Piccolo was informed about the threat of Cumber and Moro. Piccolo tried to contact everyone he knew, with the help also with Dende, but the only ones who arrived were Raditz, Orin, and Krillin, since everyone else were too busy on their jobs. Before they can talk more and strategize, 7-3 and his gang shows up, and they begin to battle. Almost all of them were pushovers, besides 7-3, who was able to grab Piccolo's neck and copy his ability, and be able to utilize the Kaioken, which made 7-3 insanely powerful, especially having infinite stamina. But there was also something else. Piccolo swears sometimes that a red aura of the Kaioken becomes a little darker, and his power rises drastically. But with Orin, Piccolo, and Raditz working together, 7-3 is forced to retreat, but 7-3 does inform them that Moro will arrive in a couple of months to devour this planet. After getting this warning, the fighters inform the rest of the Earth's warriors of what's to come, and everyone trains hard for their arrival. In this training, Gohan realized that he has reached a wall in his power. After mastering Super Saiyan Blue, he has never managed to get something beyond it, but he gets an interesting idea. He asks Piccolo if he can teach him the Kaioken. Piccolo asks why. Super Saiyan transformations are way better than the Kaioken, but Gohan has an idea, and he wants to stack his Super Saiyan Blue transformation on top with the Kaioken. Piccolo thinks that it's an interesting idea, and Piccolo began teaching him. Of course, Gohan, being as smart as he is, quickly picks up the Kaioken, and when he first tried to use it in his base form, he is able to push it to ×10 pretty easily, but when he tries to combine it with his Super Saiyan Blue transformation, he's barely able to hold on with only ×2, so he reverts back, knowing he will need a lot of training to get used to that, and in his months of training, he is able to use ×3 freely, and he can push it to ×5 in an emergency, and the rest of the fighters just increase their overall strength. When the 4 months pass, the fated day arrives. A huge ship begins descending towards Earth, and on top of it stands Moro and Cumber, ready for the battle. And that's where we have this part of What If the Good Saiyans won the Civil War. As always, if you have any what if suggested for me, write it down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, and if this video reaches 50 likes, Kuro will make the next part, and I'll see you guys in my next video.